that some of these bands in school are so insane, bruh. Like I'm like, what? Why are we making this rule? No phones for what? Like no phones for what? Like just observe the kids, dude. Y'all just want to sit down. Y'all got Go Guardian up for no reason. Like what are you guys doing? Like it's just pointless. Some of these bands are pointless. Like makes no sense. But that is what we're gonna be doing today. What is good, Justified? And we're back with another video. So today we're gonna be watching pointless school rules. And yeah, so let's get into this. All right, so we're here. This video is made by Rody, by the way. Check him out. And yeah, pointless school rules. So let's get into this.
This year, the genius lawmakers in Texas had the brilliant idea to completely ban phones in school. Of all the useless rules that we have to follow in school, this one might actually take the cake. Personal telecommunication devices may not be used at any time during the school day. This includes classrooms, passing periods, restrooms, at lunch, or in any other common areas on campus. Basically, get ready to bring your PSPs, 3DSs, Game Boys, and of course your game.coms to school. Bro, what is that? My mom teaches high school, and she was telling me the other day how she supported the ban, saying that phones are a distraction. I was like, Mom, banning phones isn't gonna magically make students start paying attention. Kids who don't want to pay attention are always going to find ways to distract themselves. You know how I know that? Because I was one of those kids. Back when I was in middle school in the ancient year of 2018, my school instituted a phone ban because the students in my school were scoring the lowest of any middle school in the district on average. Yeah, it was pretty ghetto.
Damn, terrible ass school. Go to. He said it was ghetto school, but go to OG? Low? Damn. That shit is terrible, dude.
But the administrators thought if we ban phones, they'll
You're not gonna get anywhere by banning phones. Like I've noticed that. Even even in 7th grade, because I'm in Tennessee, they were banning phones, and I'm like, at my school, they take our phones up in the a 7th grade box. I'm like, nigga, what is that gonna change? Like they still both their phone with them. Like they just never gave it into the box, and they eventually they get called sometimes. But like, what the like? How you think you're gonna be able to ban the phones? Like you gonna magically see everybody's phone on distance? You gonna find mine? No, you're not gonna accept if I have my phone out or not because it's my phone. Like that's pissing me off.
have nothing left to do but pay attention in their classes. Now, back in middle school, I never paid attention in class. Not because I was a bad student, but because I was one of the few good students in my grade, but the material was so boring and stuff that I already knew that I'd rather be playing Jetpack Joyride on my phone or sending dog filter Snapchats to my friends than relearn the Pythagorean theorem for the 40th time. But after the phone ban came, no more Jetpack Joyride, no more dog filters. I had to sit in class as my teacher droned on in the front. Have you ever gotten so genuinely bored that you start tearing up? That happened to me multiple times after the ban, listening to these mundane concepts that I already knew. And the dumbest part is, all of the bad students didn't magically start paying attention and getting A's. They just became more disruptive in class and started acting out more because they didn't have their phone to keep them occupied. It was literally a loss for everyone. Luckily, once I got to high school, I was free from that stupidity, but this year, it's back for everyone. I was at the gym the other day talking to a guy who goes to the high school I graduated from about the phone ban, and he was telling me that it sucks. He says that school is way more boring and isolating now because he can't communicate with his friends unless they're literally in the same vicinity of him. Also, everyone just goes to their cars during lunch so they can finally go on their phones. Is that really better than the way that it was before? I mean, I don't disagree that phones can be distracting in school, but I think outright banning them from campus doesn't fix anything for students or teachers. Banning phones makes almost as little sense as Super soaker attack drills, if you catch my drift. First off, the fact that these even exist is insane to me. Super soaker attacks have gotten so prevalent in school that we literally need a drill for it, yet lawmakers think banning phones is a bigger priority. But the drills themselves are literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Oh, someone has a super soaker on campus. Let's all hide in this same.
That actually is like that makes no sense. I'll be in a drill and I'll be like, nigga, are we dead? Hiding in a corner? Niggas, they're gonna know you're at school. Are we dumb as fuck? If nobody's like, that makes no sense. Why are we all hiding in a corner? Eventually, they're just gonna shoot around, and then they're gonna start finding out that it's literally people in there. If they're actually trying to go and kill people, that makes no sense. Logical sense will say, there, bro, run, nigga, run, run, dude. It makes no sense to stay right there. Run out the door. Run this way out the door. Bow in the door, and then run out. A few students might get shot. Bow, bow, bow. Shoot, mute, shoot. Wow. A few students might get shot, but they might not. If you just break the window, bow, get out of there. Like, y'all should have a weapon for that. Like, it makes no sense for you to hide in the corner like he's gonna actually magically not come to your classroom. And plus, the people that are doing that, they already got taught that. So why would they all instantly just go in there and say, "Oh, the corners, that's where we used to hide. Corners, corners."
Of the classroom. That way, when they burst through the door, we can make it easy for them. Listen, I'm not telling you what to do, but if someone brought a super soaker to campus when I was in school, I am booking it off campus as quickly as possible, preferably with 2 or 3 of my homies. That way, we have a fighting chance if we run into the guy. I am not sticking around in a campus being target practice in the corner of a room. The weird thing is, the longer I was in school, the more I felt like a super soaker attack was a real possibility. Like my senior year, it got to the point where I was like, okay, just gotta make it to October. Okay, now it's October, just make it to January. Okay, now that's January, like please let me just make it to March. And eventually it was just, okay, please let me make it to the end of graduation and I'm free. And even at the graduation ceremony, I was looking around like, please God, let me survive this. I want to make out with at least one girl in a college dorm before I die. And I survived, and proceeded to make out with a girl in a college dorm, so appreciate that, G. But yeah, the drills,
Too much information, bro.
they gotta go. They're clearly there to give off the illusion of safety without accomplishing anything, just like wearing ID badges. They started enforcing this sometime when I was in high school, and it literally might be the most useless thing we were ever forced to do. Teachers were like, we need to identify everyone on campus in case of an event of danger. And it's like, bitch, what is an ID gonna do to stop anything? The only thing wearing IDs accomplished was ruining every fit you wore and being hella itchy around your neck. Plus, whatever printer they used to make our IDs was the most incompetent piece of technology ever, because everyone who had brown skin just turned out orange, and I was out here getting roasted by my friends cause this racist broken ass machine. I can't think of a single legitimate argument for enforcing IDs other than giving students a tool to cut up their Kool-Aid with whenever they snort it. Being forced to wear IDs annoyed me a little bit, but it was nothing compared to taking final exams. I'm in university now, and final exams make sense for college courses because the entire course is based around like 3 exams. But back in high school, it felt like it was just this AIDS monster that was hanging over you the entire semester. Like, I would do so much work on the in-class assignments, homework, quizzes, tests throughout the semester, but then 20% of my grade would be the final exam. So if you bombed that test, your grade could go from a 97 to an 85 real quick. The worst was in classes like history and psychology that were all memorizing terms and dates, cause whenever we took the unit tests, I would spend the entire night before cramming, memorizing as many terms as possible, take the test, and then forget everything immediately, because
Not gonna lie, that's how it's built to do. Like, I'd be so good. Like on test, I fail. Like, I don't fail, of course, but I do worse because I'm like, dude, I don't know half of the stuff that they just told me 5 seconds ago. Like, bro, I forget. It's meant to do this. Like, it's a meant to have an illusion that you forget everything that you fucking learned already. Like, that shit pissed me off because I was like, nigga, I know this. And then when I missed the question, I'm like, no, I know it.
That's how those tests are set up. They're not tests of understanding, they're tests of memorization. So by the time the final exams came around, I would essentially have to relearn everything by myself in the days leading up to it. Crash Course History came in clutch more times.
John Smith. Well, at least that was the one that we watched all the time. I know some other people like his brother and all that, but John Smith, fuck with that nigga. Fuck with that nigga a lot.
Times than I can remember. The worst part is final exams are a district policy because I had a friend who lived the city over and he didn't have to do any final exams throughout high school at all. All y'all from Frisco, Texas, first off, some of you are actual degens, I'm not gonna lie. And second off, you don't realize how lucky you were that you didn't have to do final exams in high school. That was just a looming pressure that was constantly there in the back of my mind. The only time I didn't take final exams was second semester of my senior year because there was this policy where any senior who had above an 85 in an AP class was exempt from taking the exam. But it's not like we could go home or hang out with our friends. Everyone who was exempt from the exam had to sit in the gym during the time period that they would be taking the exam, which made literally no sense. But on the last day of school during my senior year, when they finally let us out of the gym, me and my friends and some other students all went to Krispy Kreme because they had this special where they were giving out a free dozen donuts to every graduating student. Shout out to Krispy Kreme for that. That's a big G move. So we all went to Krispy Kreme and the workers were handing out donuts to all of us, and then one of the kids in our group, and for some reason I will always remember this, he walks up to the counter and says, "Don't you want to check my ID to make sure that I'm actually graduating?" And then he pulls out his school ID and shows it to the worker without them even asking. Something about that really ticked me off, and for whatever reason I still frequently think about it. Anyways, those were some annoying school rules that I had to follow. I'm sure your school...
But personally, my personal uh pointless school rule is the phone ban, bro. Because eventually everybody is just going to do the same thing. They're not gonna care about the phone ban, bro. Who actually cares about the phone ban? Like, who actually doesn't? Who actually does care about the phone bans? People are still going on their phone. Go in the bathroom, phone. Niggas be hiding away from their teachers because the teachers don't be caring that much to have a phone ban, bro. Like, make it make sense, bro. But thank y'all for coming. Uh, love y'all niggas. I'ma see y'all, man, in the next video. Just to bye.